Let's crochet the arms and the legs. They're worked in the same exact way as the antenna. What you'll do is start off with a little bit of a yarn tail for tying them in and make a little slip knot before you start your chain. Then you're going to chain 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then insert your hook into the second chain from your hook. That's going to be this one down here. And you're going to yarn over, pull through for a slip stitch. And you'll work that way all the way down the chain. So that's going to be 3 more slip stitches. Insert your hook into the next chain, pull through, and slip stitch. Insert your hook into the next chain, pull through, slip stitch, and the very last one, yarn over, pull through, slip stitch. So that makes one little arm or leg, and you'll just fasten off with a bit of a yarn tail here so that it's easy for you to pull the yarn tails into the body and to tie them. When you are done, you should have 6 little legs here, and set them aside because we'll start working on the body and attach some of the legs as we go. To work on the body, we're going to start off with a magic ring, and you're going to insert 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So here I'm going to insert my hook and put in 6 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to pull the yarn tail on the end of the ring to kind of cinch it shut, like so. And we're going to insert or start working on round 2 here. For round 2, you're going to increase all the way around. So that's going to be putting into this first single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. In the next single crochet, increase, 1 and 2. Increase in the next stitch. And again, work all the way around with increases. When you get to the end, you should have a total of 12 single crochets in this round. All right. Now that you have 12 single crochets, we're going to work with a single crochet and increase all the way around. So let's do that. Single crochet, increase in the next stitch by putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Repeat, so single crochet, and then increase in the next stitch. Single crochet, increase in the next stitch, and all the way around. All right, and after you go all the way around, that concludes round 3. We're now going to start on round 4. Round 4 is going to be 2 single crochets and then an increase all the way around. And I'm going to use the yarn tail end here to kind of stick in the front of my round to act as a stitch marker. You can use an actual stitch marker, of course, but this is my easy peasy way of keeping track of where I'm at. So again, for round 4, that's 2 single crochets and then an increase. 2 single crochets and then an increase. 2 single crochets and an increase. You'll be repeating this around 6 times for a total of 24 stitches. After you are done with round 4, we're going to work in straight rounds here for a little bit. So for round 5 and round 6, you're just going to single crochet around in each stitch. So I'm going to go into the first stitch and just make a single crochet. Just make a single crochet in the next, all the way around. Do this for the next 2 rounds. All right. So I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just did round 6, and what you'll do at this point is, if you're still, if you haven't done so yet, flip your piece kind of inside out so that the right side is facing out. At this point, we can go ahead and work on attaching a couple of the legs actually. So let me just pull this part out for now. All right. And what you'll want to do later on, if you've got your yarn tail out here, is to pull it inside the body as well. But anyhow, let's go ahead and attach 2 of the legs. So I've got 2 little legs here that I made earlier. And what I'll do is attach the legs between rounds 3 and rounds 4. Of course, if you want to choose a different place to put them, you are very welcome to, but I'm going to see how they look on rounds 2, 3, and 4. So here's round 1, 2, 3, and here's 4. So the legs are going to go somewhere in between round 3 and 4. What I like is to kind of have the yarn tail end being the back of the piece. So I'm just going to find where the side is. This would be the side. And I'm going to pull one of the yarn tails for one leg in, and the next yarn tail is going to be in the adjacent stitch. So I'm just, here, going to stick my hook through and pull the second yarn tail in. And as I do that, you'll notice that the little leg is now nicely tucked in. The yarn tails are tucked in, and I'm going to tie the ends so that they remain inside the body, like so. All right, so there's one cute little leg that got attached just now. Let's go do the other side. So here's round 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, I'm attaching between round 3 and 4. If it helps, just fold your piece so you can find where the second leg should be going into. I think it'll be straighter if I put it here. So, yep, in these 2 spots. So I'm going to pull this through. All right, and let me attach one of the yarn tail ends. And the second yarn tail end is just going to be in the adjacent stitch. There we go. And again, after you pull it through, just tie the ends inside of the body, making this the easiest attachment ever for a limb. No sewing required, literally just pulling the yarn ends in and tying them. Super easy, right? All right. I like to make my amigurumi patterns as no-sew as possible. So there you have it. There are the two little legs, and we're gonna keep working. So for this next round, we're at round 7 now, I believe. Yep, for round 7, we're going to decrease a little bit. So what we'll do is just decrease, there will be 3 decreases in this round. You're going to be single crocheting 6 and then decrease. And you'll do that 3 times. So here's what it's going to look like. Again, I'm using this yarn end to kind of mark the beginning of my round. Helps me keep track. So single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And oops. Sorry, kind of fidgety here. Let me make sure I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and 6. And in the next stitch, next 2 stitches I mean, I'm going to decrease. If you want to do the invisible decrease, you're going to insert your hook into the 2 front loops of this, of the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through both front loops, yarn over, and make your single crochet like normal. So let's do that again. We're going to repeat the repetition. So that's 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's go ahead and do that invisible decrease again. Go through the 2 front loops of the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and single crochet like normal. All right, last repetition here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And decrease for these last 2. All right. And for the next round, you're simply going to single crochet around. You'll now have 21 stitches in this round, so we're going to single crochet 21 around. All right. After you've done that, you would have finished round number 8, I think. Let me see. Yes, we're on round 8. For round number 9, we're going to do a further decrease. So for round 9, oops, sorry about that. We're going to single crochet 5 and then decrease. Repeat that 3 times around. Let's try it out. So single crochet 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to decrease in this next, in these next 2 stitches here. Then repeat that. So single crochet 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then a decrease. Last one. Single crochet 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And a decrease at the very end. And that's that for round number 9. For round 10, we're going to decrease in a similar fashion. We're going to single crochet 4 and decrease. All right, so let's do that. Single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a decrease here. Repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, decrease in the next stitch. Oops. There we go. Single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And decrease in these last 2 stitches. Oops. All right, and we're going to be actually finishing up this really soon with one more round. But before we do that, I want to attach the next 2 legs while it's still easy to reach. Otherwise, it's going to get a little bit tough when the hole up here gets even smaller. So I've got my first pair down here between rounds 3 and round 4. The next pair, I'd like to put it between rounds, about round 8. Let me see where that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I'm thinking between round 7 and 8. Let me give that a look. All right, so I've decided to put the next pair of legs between round 8 and round 9, which is at this spot right here. If you count your rounds up, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So between 8 and 9 can be a good spot for the next 2 legs. Again, I'm just going to push my my hook through where I want to pull in a yarn end. And I'm gonna pull that through, and right in the adjacent stitch, so right next to it here, I'm going to pull the next yarn end in. When I do that, my next leg will be attached nicely there. Make sure you tie it securely on the inside. And you're going to repeat that with the next leg on the other side. So make sure that it matches up and lines up with your previous set of legs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So somewhere between here. All right. Just double checking that it lines up. Yes, it does. All right. And I'll put my first yarn end here and the next one beside it. Okay. I like to pull the legs in as tightly as possible, especially when I tie it. That way it'll look like it's more seamless and against the body. Okay, so there I've got the 2 pairs of legs so far. I'm going to go ahead and crochet the final round of this doll, which is going, of the doll's body, I mean, which is going to be round 11. For round 11, I'm going to simply single crochet 3 and then decrease. So, starting in the next stitch, single crochet 1, 2, 3. I am so sorry for these awful squeaks with my hook. And here in the next 2, I'm going to decrease. I don't know what's causing it because my yarn hook sometimes squeaks and sometimes doesn't. And it really bothers me, but I'm so sorry. Okay, So let's try the next 3. That's 1, 2, and 3, and then decrease. And the next 3, 1, 2, 3, decrease. All right, and there you have it. That's that for the last round. And what you can do at this point is to sew on the final set of, not sew on, but tie on the final set of legs. I like to keep it as close to the very top of the round as possible. So that means going right into the top here, top round here, round 11. Oops, round 11. So I'll just demonstrate that really quickly with a leg here. I'm going to pull in the yarn end once more, go into the next one, pull in that yarn end. All right, and sorry, it's a little fiddly here. I'm trying to get this pulled in as tightly as I can. And my stitches are pretty tight, so it's a little hard to wedge it through. All right, now I'm gonna tie my yarn ends here to make sure it's nice and secure. And there's the top leg. All right, let's go ahead and do that for the other side. All right, by the way, I added just a couple single crochets to the end of the round here because I realized I attached my leg to be right where the round finished, and that makes it just a little tricky, so I just added a couple single crochets at the end. It depends on where you attach your arms though. If it's not at the very end of the round, you won't have to worry about that. Anyways, what you'll do, probably before you insert the last leg here, is to fasten off with a long yarn tail for the body. This way you won't have all this unworked loop hanging around. All right, there. And to make things look a little bit simpler, I'm gonna go ahead and stuff all the yarn tails into the body. And let's go ahead and attach the last pair of legs, or the last leg. So I'm going to pull it through round 11 up here. Pull that first yarn tail through, find the adjacent stitch, and pull through the next yarn tail. Oops, hold on, I think I missed that one. Okay, sorry about that. Looks like my leg was a little curved. Okay, well, I want to make sure it's straight and aligned. When you finish pulling the yarn ends through, just tie them as we have been doing, and stuff those yarn tails inside the body. Just hide them all in there. Oops. All right. You're going to want to pull the bottom or your starting yarn tail in as well if you haven't done so already. So I have this hanging out here. Unless you want a tail for your butterfly, you'll probably want to pull it in. So I'm just gonna tighten it and then find a spot to pull it through. All right, and That was very fiddly. Let me pull it through nicer. There we go. Okay, and as you can see, did a little yarn barf over here. All of my ends are out again. Let's just push it back in. And I think one of you guys commented about how my videos are not perfect in that I show a lot of my oops on screen. I just want to let you know that is not intentional at all. I do a lot of oops because frankly I do a lot of oops. So I just record all of it and show all of it. And that's to let you know that yes, I'm not perfect. And no one needs to be perfect when they're crocheting. If you are, then that's so wonderful. But if you're not, then absolutely just look at my mistakes and know that you are doing great. So that's that for the body of the butterfly. Just go ahead and stuff the body with some fiber fill. You can use the end of your yarn hook to kind of push the stuffing in there. All right, hope you liked crocheting this part.